You want to see my poetry?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, we do events and stuff all the time.
Who exactly?
Hmm.
Who exactly?
The chamber, the Black Chamber.
Oh, like
Not beautiful.
wow. Poetry.
You know what?
I think it's got your mom. I'm not sure.
I think I'm gonna just unplug these.
Do you do birthdays?
It depends. I mean, I can do stuff at time, but most of it's
Hey y'all, we're getting ready. Switching some things up. Okay, let's move that. And then we're gonna do this also.
There you go.
Yeah, it's fresh on home. What?
Hey, boss.
Yeah, we have a networking event tomorrow.
I do a couple of football time.
What's it called? Thursday?
Well, go more this way because I'm gonna knock this beginning part out real quick.
What do you do bullshit, man?
It's on Black Chamber Raleigh
On
on
Facebook?
Facebook.
Hey. We're gonna get started shortly, so. Okay, good.
What I just did.
Yeah.
Can you take this?
So is this your regular basically, or is it? Okay. Oh, that's it.
Okay, y'all ready?
Mhm.
It's 6:17. I'm gonna just go ahead and jump in. All right. So hi everybody. Welcome. I'm gonna give you the podcast voice tonight. Tonight we have the pleasure of being here. This is my NPR voice. You never heard this, right? Hold on. Tonight we have the pleasure of being here at Self Help Credit Union in Raleigh, North Carolina. We're on Harps Mill Road. The traffic here was a lot, but it's okay because now we're here and we're in the building. This wonderful facility, if people are interested in working with self-help, you want to become a client, you might want to teach a class, you may want to get into some of the procurement opportunities that they have at self-help, we would strongly suggest that you do so. And so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to bring up a guest who just happens to work at self-help, but she also is another person that has whole nother organization. And so we're going to talk about that this evening. Now, who am I? I am Chisa Penix Brown, and our company is Give It to the People. And what we do is curate conferences throughout the state of North Carolina. We are an economic engine in the state because we try to keep businesses in business with the training that we do, and always letting them know about opportunities that are available in state, out of state, whether it's a grant, an event that you can go to, anything that we can do to try to increase your business acumen. And we decided last year, we asked Self-Help, well, would you be interested in partnering so that we can have a host location to do this? And they graciously said yes. And so this is why we're here live and direct in person. So today we're going to go ahead and we are live streaming. So thank you for everybody that's jumping on right now. We appreciate you guys. And bring up without further ado, Tammy Brown. So Tammy Brown is our Tamarine. She loves to come and make excitement happen. And she is a part of the family. And somebody thought she drove here by herself this evening, but she did not. And she does not have insurance or a license, but she has a license to thrill. So she does that when she's out here. And now I'm going to bring up our first guest this evening, which is Dion Selby. So Dion, come on up.
Yes, I love it.
I know, it's just fun, right? Just a little fun. Okay. So get on in. We're gonna get close.
Okay.
You smell good, so it's
Oh,
okay.
thank you.
All right, you know you gotta make sure. All right, so Dion.
Yes.
Y'all can laugh. We have big fun. You know that, right? First of all, tell them what you do at Self Help, and we're gonna spend more time on what you're doing with the Black Chamber. But tell them what you do at Self Help.
Okay, yeah. So at Self Help Credit Union, I'm the branch manager of the Rock Quarry Road location, right here in Southeast Raleigh. Not where we're located right now, but in Southeast Raleigh off of Rock Quarry Road.
Okay. Manager there.
2 years. Well,
Okay.
about 2.5 years.
So you're celebrating the anniversary soon? Okay. And then can you just kind of give them a little background on who Self Help is trying to help?
You know, so that's a good way that you broke that down, because that's actually one of the favorite things that I enjoy telling people is about the help part in self-help, because a lot of people think it's actually like a mental health facility.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I
They
guess
see the help part and then
help.
they're like, what is that?
They just missed the whole credit union right underneath it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So who we're trying to help is part of our mission. It's actually our mission to help the underserved community, people of color, women, children, and immigrants. Isn't that pretty cool?
Oh, all of the people that have issues right now that need help. But you were already doing that before some of these laws and these changes were enacted. And this is a great place for people to be able to come get that. And one thing I know, Tamara Stanley, she'll always let people know that there is a lot of property that Self-Help owns as well. So if small business are interested in possibly becoming tenants because they want to go into a brick and mortar space, that's something that people can help, you know, that they can get help with.
So one of our entities is real estate, which is actually also cool because Self-Help is a part of about it makes up about 4 different parts of Self-Help's organization, because we're a nonprofit. So one of the pieces of our organization is real estate. So the real estate side, we have our own properties that we either provide affordable housing or we provide leasing space. And so we have a location in Raleigh where we do have spaces available.
Okay.
And that is in our multi-purpose building where I work.
Okay.
I don't work in the multi-purpose building, but it's where my branch is located in Beacon Point. And then we have some other spaces in Durham.
Okay. And so if people are interested, they should definitely check you out.
Absolutely.
Now, I have checked out one building, and I can say that what I was looking at, the rate was lower than I ever thought that I could even possibly get, specifically being in downtown Durham. And that was me checking things out, because I've been told I'm anytime soon. So, well, no, listen, we've already had 2 spaces, and I think a lot of times you just have to be really all in if you want to get a brick and mortar. And I know that there are businesses that they're all in, and some need a brick and mortar, you know, and so I would say definitely check with Self-Help for something like that. And then can you just touch on really quickly also the changeover, because you're having people move out of the building that's in Durham where American Underground was, and you'll have that building. So I know you guys are doing some new stuff that'll be happening there.
Now that piece, I'm not in Durham.
Okay.
So I don't really know too much of the details about that one. That might be a Tamara question.
Okay. And then they haven't put out all the details yet anyway, but I do know that American Underground is moving back to like its original campus in Durham. That building that it was in American Underground was a co-working space. And so now, you know, that space is going to be available for people to be in. So they're going to be doing some new stuff with that. So stay on the lookout for that. Okay. So now let's transition.
Okay.
And I have to ask this question because I have, somebody has given me some information, but I always want to just, you know, get it from the person who I think makes the most amount of sense. What made you start your Chamber of Commerce specifically in Raleigh, and what made you do a Black Chamber of Commerce?
Well, actually, Tamara had a lot to do with that.
Okay.
Like she doesn't understand how pivotal and how impactful she was um, in the decision and the idea to start the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
One of it is because she helped me, help in me to get this role.
Mm-hmm.
She was my manager.
Okay.
So when she was my manager, she took me to all of the different events and all the opportunities, and all of my training was in Durham.
Okay.
So I'm actually from Raleigh. I'm from North Raleigh. So
you want to throw up a gang sign? You know, I don't know if North Raleigh, I don't know if North Raleigh has a gang sign or not. I mean, I'm just
I thought that
asking.
was Durham.
You know. Oh, well, listen, I'm technically from neither of those places, but no, Durham does have a gang sign. So if I gotta claim it, that's
I
what
don't think we have
we
a
pay
gang
money,
sign.
yes.
I just think it's like 919.
Durham
or
has a
something
gang
like that.
sign. Okay, yes, okay. Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, so I actually grew up in North Raleigh. Then I ended up moving to Southeast Raleigh.
Okay.
So that's where I am now,
Mhm.
and that's kind of where my work is at. But all of my training was in Durham, and honestly, I just went to Durham, for different events and
Mhm.
things like that, and every now and then. But I did not spend a lot of time in Durham.
Okay.
And so when I started this role, I spent a lot of time different events, and we know how Tamara loves gala.
She does love a gala. Loves a
She'll love
gala.
So we did a lot of galas,
Mhm.
and we did a lot of events. We did a lot of outreach, and we did a lot of community
Mhm.
Networking,
Mhm.
which is a lot of our role
Mhm.
within self-help as well.
Mhm.
It's about 60% of our job
Okay.
is managing the branch and being out in the community.
Mhm.
And so I went to a gala, and it was hosted by the Greater Black Chamber of Durham.
Mhm.
And I said, why don't we have this in Raleigh?
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's really what started
Okay.
the inspiration behind it.
Okay.
And so I saw all of the different pieces that were put together of that event. And I
Mhm.
think it was a business expo. It
Mhm.
was like a business expo event, and it also the Black Chamber
Mhm.
of Durham. And it just made my wheels turn. It
Mhm.
just made my wheels turn.
Mhm.
And it was actually not a good time because of when this manifestation and this, idea came about, because I had just pretty much gotten into my role.
Your role.
I had just started, just starting to like actually get goals
Mhm.
and things for my role that I had. These are like big goals,
Mhm.
to have to accomplish.
Mhm.
So it really wasn't a good time, but I said, this is so needed. Like
Mhm.
this is so needed. And if I don't do it, somebody's going to do it. Like I couldn't believe that
it hadn't happened already.
It had already happened.
Yeah, and that was going to be my question. Like, I mean, I think that they're probably, how we say shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's like, well, why hadn't somebody done that already? And Raleigh is notorious. Raleigh will have a chamber on top of a chamber. I think you guys have 14, 15 chambers.
Yeah.
In Raleigh. Now Raleigh is big, but I mean, there are still multiple chambers.
Yeah.
And so, but what made you do a Black chamber specifically?
Well, of course, a Black chamber. I had been, I'm also a business owner, so I had been a member of other chambers, but I didn't feel like, to be honest, I got a sense of value as far as like it being for me, like really understanding my needs, my community, and really understanding the connectivity, like of being able to really connect me to my clients. And so, I absolutely wanted it to be something for us, by us, but it's honestly who I am as well too, because I'm already a community advocate, and I already advocate for Southeast Raleigh. So for the Black community, it was just necessary for us.
Now, have you had any issues? And the reason I'm asking this is because every year for the last 4 years, we've been doing the Black Biz Summit, and we lost some sponsors last year because of the word Black. And I don't know if you've went through that. That's what happened.
That is so funny you brought that up.
That's what happened. So have you experienced that, because how long? It's been a year for your chamber. Yeah. So in that first year, have you even experienced that yet?
I just experienced that.
Oh,
that's so crazy that
sad.
You just brought that
Kimmy,
up.
Don't cry.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was sad.
I think she felt my pain.
But she didn't want to clap for that.
Yeah.
So she didn't clap.
I feel the ancestors through
Yeah.
Tammy.
She is in there.
But yeah, I mean, it's so funny you brought that up, because it was actually very heartbreaking. It was someone that I really thought, really cared about the community and really cared about my work. They constantly said, like, I really respect what you're doing. I think this is really, a great
Mhm.
opportunity for Black-owned businesses. I think this is great what you're doing. But then when I called on them to partner on a big initiative that we have coming up for our conference,
Mhm.
they said that they didn't want to, that they kind of decided to back out of it because it was Black.
Mhm.
And they didn't want it to tarnish
Their image.
their image.
Yeah, I mean that's a
And
lot
it
of
was
times
very,
what happens.
that's so crazy you brought that up.
I can tell you just because of experience, but also because I think that there is a specific uh, initiative to diminish. Like you want the talent, you want the
Mhm.
culture, you want the access, but yet the name is a
Mhm,
problem for you.
mhm.
And I mean, that's happened to multiple organizations. And so it gives you, the feeling of like, well, should I still be doing this? And it's like, yeah, you should still be doing this, but you then have to work, of course, just a little bit harder
Yeah.
to find people that actually
That's-
align with that and
mhm.
that's not an issue for them.
Yeah.
And what we experienced was we were talking to different, state and other kind of organizations, which they were like, well, we can't. It's not that I don't want to do it, but
Mhm.
because I work for this organization, we cannot sponsor
Mhm.
it.
Mhm.
And, I mean, and that's just an interesting thing because just, being at self-help does do a lot of things with all of the people that are
Mhm.
on the list.
On the list.
But self-help is one of the few that still do that as far as sponsoring, whether it's in kind or whether it's, financial dollars
Mhm.
involved,
Mhm.
and also putting their name and that logo on
Yeah.
something. Like, I mean, self-help is one of the few. So, you still have that. And I mean, I think that can give some type of solace to the fact that there are people that are going to say no.
Yeah, and to your point, like you said, it's all about finding the right people.
Mhm.
Finding the right people that are going to be supportive, that are mission aligned, and that also have that passion.
Mhm.
I think that's one good thing or another good thing that I can say about self-help is that they find the right people.
Mhm.
They are specific about finding passionate people that really do care
Mhm.
because we're not here doing the work based off of commission
Mhm.
and goal and bonuses and things like that because
Mhm.
we don't get paid commission and bonuses like we used to coming from a commercial bank because
Other banks.
I have commercial banking experience as well.
Mhm.
12, 15, 20 years. So I know the difference. I
Mhm.
know the difference of what it is working for a community driven organization. So it is really finding the right people, finding the right entities. And this year, one of my words was alignment of
Mhm.
really finding the right spaces that are in service of you.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That
Mhm.
really are there to serve you
Mhm.
and to be in the right spaces. So I just feel that is more intentional for the chamber and where I'm at with self-help,
Mhm.
and the right people will come.
Mhm. Now, when you look at your members, what I guess if you can kind of look like of where they're comprised, the types of businesses that they have, and I'm sure that it can run the gamut, but is there majority that are in a certain type of industry? Have you found that it's more women, more men, more consultants, or what's that been for your
Yeah,
membership?
that's a good question too,
Mhm.
because for two reasons. One, to answer your question, is there is definitely a mix, but it is definitely more of an industry of like retail,
Okay.
online,
Mhm.
online retail.
Okay.
We do have a lot of realtors. We do have a lot of financial based companies.
Mhm.
But to answer your question, with the second reason or the second example is we have a lot of women,
Mhm.
and so that's a challenge of mine. Is that
Mhm.
I really would like to see more
Men.
men. I
Mhm.
would really like to see more men.
Mhm.
We have a lot of women that come to our events, that participate at the events, but we
Mhm.
don't have as much participation with the men.
Mm.
So I would like to see, those
It's not
numbers
like
and
that
that
out here.
activity come up.
Where you at, guys?
Yeah. Yeah. Where are you at?
But I mean, I think that, and the reason I ask that is because I know, and I always tell people, listen, I'm just straight up blunt. I never have liked the phrase African American. I just never have. So that phrase just gets on my nerves. But I just say, if you come to us, what you're going to find is primarily Black people and primarily women. You know what I'm saying? And we definitely have a strong LGBT community as well. So when we look at that, everything that they don't want to fund, right? But at the same time, those are the people that need help. And I mean, I think we're getting more men now. But I do notice that, you know, just the trend of that also has to do with the fact that my husband is CEO, right? So men feel comfortable when it's a man involved. And not to say that anything against us or anything, that's just what it is. And I think I've been looking at other ways to just try to engage people that don't look like us either, you know, and just trying to make sure, because our thing was, it was, even though it is predominantly Black and a lot Black focused, but that's because that's what we're open to everybody. So, you know, engaging people that don't look like you, that maybe don't even speak the same language as a primary function. What are some of the ways to kind of engage people? And so this is why I think when you change the way that you communicate with people, I think that it can help, you know? And so we've putting some more things in place so that this way meet people where they are. Because, like, for instance, the Hispanic community uses WhatsApp a lot, and so does the African community. Like, everybody except for America, let's just say that. And I'm not saying Americans don't, but other countries really are focused on WhatsApp. So we have a WhatsApp. Now, I don't know how many people are on there. It's probably like 8 or 10, but I put the stuff on the WhatsApp. If you're on the WhatsApp, you see it on the WhatsApp. And so I think that a lot of times when we look at what we've been doing too, hey guys, is we've been doing surveys. And one of the things that we started doing this year specifically was to count our metrics, but to see how are people finding out about things, you know? And so, like, you had a conversation previously and you were like, well, where's this? We'll find it on the site and such and such. And so, you know, it was interesting to me. And I just want to ask this. You said Facebook, right? And so are you finding success on Facebook?
Oh, yes. Facebook is actually my highest engagement.
Okay, really?
That's the highest engagement that I have. I find that on Instagram, it's more video and just more real as far as, you know, it being like eye-catching content. But as far as actually conversation and interaction, is more Facebook.
That is so interesting. I don't even be on the book like that anymore. I call it the book because I'm old enough. The book. Be on a book like that. But no, I think the thing is though, and so this is why I'm asking that question, because communication does matter to me. And so if a good majority of your people are, and this is why I'm illustrating, I'm coming to a point, but are realtors, they have physical locations. And so this means that that's going to drive traffic into that. And that typically is what Facebook does within a certain radius, because people are looking for that. And because ours is statewide, people are all over the place, but our people are more so on LinkedIn and Instagram, you know? And so it's just interesting to just kind of see.
Are different. And the other thing too with self-help and with the chamber is that it's also local. So we're looking for the local businesses, the local clients, the local entities right here, the networking groups, all of the individuals that are right here in Raleigh, because it's the Black Chamber of Raleigh. And that makes a difference. But that's why I wanted to ask that, just to kind of see, and just your line of questioning made me say, well, your communication, I don't really think any of our people for us have really said that we have Facebook, of course, but I don't think anybody has said that they were looking on Facebook, you know, for the things, you know, Eventbrite People
and stuff.
Scroll on Facebook all day long. They just be scrolling and scrolling.
I don't know. I just, Facebook is so, and this is just me. I'm not saying anything negative, but it's so personal. When I go, and I'm just like, and then I look at stuff and I'm like, you lying. Or are you still doing that? Like, it's certain things that I see, and it's just like, I will go on there, and mind you, I used to be a little Facebook junkie. I would go on there all the time, but it's like now, it seems like Facebook has gotten grown. And I literally mean that it was originally intended for college students. It wasn't even supposed to be for everybody else. And then as we've aged with Facebook is aged. And so now I have to hear your grown-up problems. Like,
well, for me, I have a entrepreneur page. So even though sometimes I will post things that are personal, I'm primarily
Page.
activity
Yeah.
for, you know, for the engagement on the
Mhm.
business page,
Mhm.
like just for being able to, you know, to network, to be
Mhm.
able to market to that same clientele, because that's actually where my biggest following is.
Mhm.
It's on Facebook.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. I mean, I understand. And that's why I wanted to illustrate that point though, because it's not that one thing is better than the other until it comes to where's the money coming from, where's the engagement coming from.
Mhm.
And so because yours is more localized, then that makes sense. And so
Mhm.
that may be the same for businesses that are very
Yeah.
similar who are looking for clients in that particular
Mhm.
area. And so, but that was good. I wanted to know
Yeah, and
that.
one more thing with that too is we do local networking events. We
Uh-huh.
do local networking events and workshops.
Mm-hmm.
So to pull those individuals in,
Mm-hmm.
they're more from the Raleigh
Yeah,
area.
yeah, and that makes
Mhm.
perfectly good sense. Okay, so if there was anything that you wanted people to know about the Black Chamber in Raleigh,
Mhm.
is there anything else that you would want to know, that you want to tell them? Of course, you want to get some more men involved, so tell them to
Yeah,
come for that.
definitely
But
want the guys to
one of
come
the things that I think that we iterate and we've talked about has been value.
Mhm.
So, what have people really said to you in relation to the value that it has brought to their life?
So, well, one thing is that we're still new. You
Mhm.
know, we're still only been in business a year.
Mhm.
So we're still that's still kind of what we're figuring out through,
Mhm.
like what you said, surveys,
Mhm.
really asking our members what their needs are,
Mhm.
trying to really understand where the most value is for
Mhm.
them. But what I've heard so far is that, you know, we got a lot of value out of our gala. We
Mhm.
had a formal gala,
Mhm.
which we had in December.
Mhm.
So all of our business owners really are looking forward to that again this
Mhm.
year, and then also had a really great time at that event last year.
Mhm.
We've gotten some responses about our workshops.
Mhm.
We teach different things like grant writing,
Mhm.
taxes, because we
Mhm.
know that bookkeeping and basically having your financial statements is the biggest
Yeah.
connecting resource to the lending, which is what we would like to connect
Mhm.
you more to with self-help. So putting businesses in a better position for lending is a big resource that we hear a lot about. Obviously, funding.
Mhm.
We know that funding is the probably one of the biggest
Always.
resources to connect the business owners to as well. So we hear a lot of feedback about funding. And then also just the networking events, just
Mhm.
opportunities. They just want opportunities to get more out of business.
Mhm. Well, I think that's interesting, and I can say this from years of experience of teaching classes, and the classes that were the least attended were the ones where you needed to learn more about your money,
Yeah, the
but you
biggest
want money.
value.
Like, and so my saying for years has been, you got to have your paperwork to make your paperwork. Like it just, if the stuff's not together, then what can we do to help
Yeah.
you? And I've seen that there's been like a gap in just knowledge of technology, but also like during COVID, because I counseled, I don't even know how many people. One of the things was there were a lot of people who didn't know how to make a PDF so that they could upload it, because the system's not going to take your Word file, right? And so even getting them to understand the statements,
Yeah.
first of all, no, back up, have the statement,
Yeah.
okay, then understand what it does, and then be able to upload it somewhere so
Yeah.
you can help them to get some
Mhm.
money. And so that barrier right there, and it's like, well, we have the classes, but you don't come to that. But you love to come to the networking things.
Yeah.
You want to come to the gala and get dressed up.
and come eat the food and have a
Oh,
drink.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
have to get the money
But we
part
have to get
together.
the knowledge. We have to get the knowledge, and that's actually one of the biggest things that we share
Mhm.
through self-help, through our presentations
Mhm.
with self-help, is why we do the work with self-help is so important, because there's so much of a gap. There's
Mhm.
so much of a gap in knowledge
Mhm.
and the resources and wealth. So that's the biggest reason why we're so far behind is the lack of knowledge.
And that's the thing where I think if more people understood that, they would lean into it a whole lot more, and it would help them to just really grow
Mhm.
faster.
Mhm.
Not necessarily saying that you have to go at a crazy pace, but even if it's just growing faster incrementally, to say, okay, stay for a couple of hours. Now maybe I could take a little vacation. Now maybe I could buy new equipment, upgrade, and then if I do this, then and everything. I think sometimes that people realize, and this is financial literacy month, so this is why I'm saying this, because you don't have to get everything immediately, but incrementally getting better is definitely going to be something that's going to grow your business. And I like the fact that you said even in 1 year, still kind of learning some of the things. And I'm going to say this, so y'all tell me what y'all think, audience. I think sometimes we put pressure on ourselves to do a whole lot, and sometimes I'm extra. Did y'all know that? Super extra. Okay. So therefore, I think we put pressure on ourselves as let's use the phrase, leaders of organizations to produce so much. But then, and I'm just going to be honest, okay, sometimes you may not get the return on all of that effort that you put out. You know what I mean? And so it's like, but you said that you wanted these things. We're providing these things. And so are you coming to these things? And then what happens is, if you see that people are uninterested or not coming, right, then you say, okay, well, maybe you don't need these things. Yeah. Now, I'm saying all of this from a small organizational standpoint, right, that we're talking about right here in North Carolina, but that's the same thing that happens with the funding that goes to, even with us working with the Small Business Center Network. If they don't spend their budget, guess what? They'll take that budget, right? And there's programs where, like the ARPA funding, right? If you don't spend that money, the federal government's going to take that money back. And so part of it is that you have to have people that are engaged in a system and understand that your voice does matter. You actually attending in person, even if it's free, does matter. And all of those things help us to make decisions on how we're going to move going forward. Right. Because if we don't have the things that we need, then it's like, well, maybe they don't want it.
Yeah. And so that's why, I was so eager to, like I said, not at the right time, but really needed, because we need more of those voices to advocate, to be in the room and to make sure that we're holding these entities and these programs accountable, to make sure that we're connecting them to our people, to make sure we're able to get that money. Yeah.
And I mean, another thing is just, I know, and the phrase just is so overused now. They just overdid it in COVID, and now it's super rampant. Access to capital.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, the access is there. You don't have your paperwork together. I mean, like the access is there. The business is not doing what it needs to be doing.
Yeah.
You just, and I think COVID made people feel like, well, just go ahead and start. And then you could get a such and such loan. And then this is why people are in jail from the PPP loans. Okay. Like, I mean, there has to be that foundational education.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I think, that we definitely agree on. And we agree on a whole bunch of stuff, but we need to still educate. And I think people need to really understand that. And if it would help them as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that a lot of it is like timing, as far as really putting in the time in your business too. I ask a lot of my clients and a lot of my members, would you lend yourself $50,000? You know what I mean? Like, would you really give yourself $50,000 right now? Do you think that you would pay yourself back? And I think that really
hurt
puts it
feelings.
into perspective.
Now, Tammy loves that. Nobody's ever, no, okay, that's not true.
I think it really puts it into perspective.
That one right there, we'll ask. Let me tell you something. Okay, Mr. Brown, can I put you on the spot for a second? Okay, so this was how many years ago? Okay, Pooh was still here. So this was however many years ago. And I was like, well, listen, and I can't, and the thing is, it wasn't that I couldn't do it. It's just that, how sometimes you have so many ideas, and it's like, it is easy to just pay somebody else to do it because they're better at a thing, right? So I was like, okay, so can I get such and such? And he was like, I'm gonna give you this money out of the 401k. Right. So I said, okay. So he was like, now when you gonna pay me my money back? Like, so you need to be able to pay this money back in XYZ. Now, mind you, okay, I think you gave me like 90 days at that time. I'm just assuming that that's what had happened. Okay. Anyway, but it was paid back within 90 days. You remember giving me the money? Okay. That's all he just remembers that part. But it did get repaid, right? But I think that that's a big thing, because if you are borrowing something, how are you going to pay it back?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are just like, I want money, money, money. And it's just like, well, do you have the clientele? Do you have this? Do you have that? And so like, when we're talking about this that is an amazing question.
and there's
Would
just a
you
lot-
lend yourself
Yeah, and there's a lot of steps. There's a lot of steps that you need to take before you actually even can consider yourself really a business owner.
Mhm.
Until you really you may say like, oh, I have a business, but you really need. There's probably at least 5 or 6 more steps that you
Mhm.
need to take. Do you have a business plan? Do you have a CPA? Do you have, you know what I mean? There's a few steps that you need to take before you can really say you
Mhm.
have a real business.
Mhm. Yeah, I totally completely agree. But I just love that question.
Yeah.
And for me, I think that that's a really big thing. Like, would you lend you money?
Yeah.
And then somebody's gonna lie and say
Yeah,
yes.
and it's really, it's, I won't say it's extremely hurtful at the time, but it's disappointing. It may be disappointing, it may not be exactly what you want to hear, but I
Mhm.
do think that it's what sometimes people need to hear. I think it really puts it into perspective that you may not be quite ready. Doesn't mean, what we say a lot with self-help is like, doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, but it may just not be right now.
Mhm.
It just may not be a right now, but we would like to help you,
Mhm.
down the road
Yeah.
once you get there.
Well, I think that, I mean, that's the thing. And then it's not just you saying that, it's also the other programs and things that you put in place to be able to help. And you specifically, of course, with, working with this Raleigh Black Chamber allows people to still have another network
Mhm.
to be able to kind of build from
Mhm,
as well. So it gives them that. So I love it. All right. Well, I want to thank you for being on
Thank
today.
you for having
And
me.
thank you everybody that's watching online. We see y'all. Y'all cute. Hey. So I'm going to bring up our next guest. So put your hands together for Dion Selby and thank her for
Thank
coming.
you, y'all.
Woo! All right. Now, Tammy is about to bring up this next person's the whole entire problem. All right. A whole entire problem. And let me tell you why. Because this person right here is all about financial literacy. This person is going to go get the money. All right. You see all that noise in the background? That's from this person, right? But this person thus far is in these streets and is going to try to get the money, but also to help your kids get the money. So this is why I say a problem we were just talking about. We're saying where people don't show up to things and the numbers aren't right or the paperwork's not working. This person is a problem because their stuff is together. Put your hands together for Cash Hollins. Woo! So you didn't even know what I was going to say. You were worried. You were worried. You were worried. You were worried. No, Cash always wants me to make a mocktail too. Okay, but Cash got water tonight. Okay, look. It's okay. Water is for hydration. You need the water. How are we gonna keep our skin good?
I would like something.
Okay. Well, you know what?
Some lemonade.
Okay.
It got water in it.
Where is the closest store to here?
Where you live?
It's a shopping center right
Where
there.
you live?
They probably have some lemonade over
They
there.
don't have the lemonade you got.
They don't, because my lemonade is very
It
special.
got water in it though.
My lemonade is very special.
Your lemonade got water in it.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Okay. So this person is on Cash because financial literacy month, number one. But number two, and I'm sure you hear the accent, all right. So I want you to tell them where you're from.
Brooklyn.
And I want you to tell them what made you even come to North Carolina, because I don't think I've asked that question.
Have you not?
I don't think I have. So I need to know the answer.
So yes, born and raised.
Was that a Brooklyn gang sign? Oh, okay. All right. No, I just looked like, because it looked like it was might have been a Bull City, but then it might have changed up. Okay. Hit it.
I gotta rep both kind of.
Rep them both. You do have to rep both.
All right.
Yeah.
So born and raised in Brooklyn. What I realized though, and that's why I kind of created the org, is because I didn't have financial literacy when I was little. And so once I got a handle on it, it became really important for me now to want to instruct children. So why I came out here, to be honest, is because in the process of the pandemic, I had contracts with schools and they closed. And so when I figured out how to do it virtually, I was doing in-person instruction at the time. When I figured out how to do it virtually, I figured I could be anywhere and I could be sitting somewhere with my feet in the grass. And so why not come south?
It's plenty of grass down here.
Yeah. Funny thing is, I moved out here in like the end of June 21 and the world opened back up a month later.
Oh, so you're saying you could have stayed where you were at and not had to move, but you thought the world was never going to open back up? Like, what were you thinking?
It was already closed for like a year and a half. It's like, all right, it's going to stay like this. This is the new normal. I could be anywhere. And so I made the move Yeah.
Okay, so I have a different line of questioning for you, totally, completely
Oh,
different.
boy.
This is
Okay.
good though. This is good
This is
stuff.
good.
Okay,
Mhm.
so we have been encountering, and we have a lot of members who
Yeah.
have done what you have done, who have moved to North
Mhm.
Carolina for whatever reason, if it was work, if it was love, if it was an opportunity, if it was bigger space, cheaper housing, whatever the thing is, they moved to North Carolina, right?
Right.
So, what would you say? And I'm going to ask you this in relation to just working with us would Give It to the People, because I want to give them some background.
Gotcha.
So Cash and I met at it was a conference, wasn't it? The first time.
Mhm.
And we were having a conversation. I was like, well, look, you need to do this, and this, because I'm like, North Carolina is not the same as New York. It's just not, you know what I mean? And so New York does have a whole bunch of stuff for entrepreneurs. And North Carolina does too, okay, which is why we're number one in business for 3 years running. Ow. Okay, tell them, Tammy. Okay. Don't worry about education though, because we are at the bottom for education, which is astounding to me. We care about money, is what it's really saying. Okay.
Right.
And really what they're saying is, "Poop them kids," but you know what? But you care about the kids.
I care about the kids.
But we love the kids. Don't worry about that. But I think that a lot of people are like, oh my God, this organization existed. And so what would you say in I think it's been almost 2 years, right? Because it was before we started and now. So in the 2 years, just the interaction and knowledge connection, whatever it is that you feel like you've gained with Give It to the People in helping that and helping your business, what would you say that is?
Less than that. It's only been about a year.
It's not. No, that's not right. It cannot be a year.
I'm telling you, it was only a year.
No, and I'm gonna tell you why it's not a year, because I met you before we started the organization. And the organization started January 4th of 2025. So that means I met you in 2024. 2020, yeah.
All right. I thought it was last year. My bad. Okay.
No, that was 2024.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Yeah.
Okay. So especially for Give It to the People, say the question again. I'm sorry, I got distracted.
What do you feel like you because a lot of people are moving here, right?
Yeah.
You're moving here. And so, one of the things that we want to do is be a connector to those things and make sure that people have a hub and make sure that people know what's going on. And we also tell you what not to go to sometimes. But don't worry about that. So
that part.
So but what do you feel like has helped you for your business?
So me personally was just the networking and being able to be out in public, right? It was extremely essential. So whether it was showing up for a conference or being at a networking event or making sure that I tapped in online, that was another way that you and I connected. Is being able to see you teaching about, AI or Canva or whatever it was through the small business, I think, development center. So that's one of the things. It's available if you go, and so you can't expect for it to come to you always. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately,
no.
Yeah.
I just want you to know, online people, get into it.
But yeah, me personally, I've never kind of been the person where I just wait for it to come. I've always kind of had to go get it, and so nothing changed when I moved out here. And so I found out where I needed to go, who I needed to be in contact with, that was one of the first conversations we had was, listen, this is what I'm doing. I'm out here now. Who do I see? Who do I talk to? Where do I go? And you kind of led me in the right direction.
Okay. Yes. Now, let me say this, because you said you've always had to go get it, right? Which I love that, because I think that I tell people all the time, oh, I had somebody say, well, yeah, I don't really want to leave out of Durham. And I was like, yeah, no, that's in Raleigh. It's like 20 minutes up the street, 30 minutes up the street.
Right.
You don't want to do that. And I'm just like, you're not my type of person, because I will travel where the money is. And so if that means it's another state, if that means it's on the other side of the state, you know what I mean? Like, we'll go where those things are. But there are people who really say they only want to stay in one place. And I mean, I think that can work for some people, right? Especially if you're brick and mortar. But a lot of the people that I hear say that don't have those types of businesses and don't understand that travel journey is important.
Right.
And explain to them, because you do not live in Raleigh and you do not live in Durham. So I want you to explain to them, not only did you come from New York, right? But that travel that you do, and gas we talked about is $3.89 a gallon, but that travel that you do in order to get to these events on a regular basis.
So yeah, currently I live closer to Fayetteville, which is about it can be an hour and a half from Durham. But like I tapped in, and so I got the opportunity to be a part of a cohort, which was out here, you know, and so that's what made me travel. And then after that, I just met more and more people out here. So now, yeah, I travel out here at least once to twice to 4 times a week. Because this is where it is, you know, and so I'm really, like I said, I'm not the type of person where I needed for it to come to me, or now I was necessarily looking in my area because I wasn't able to find the ecosystem that I needed right near me.
Okay.
And so it required for me to go out of the area and to come into Durham, and now being able to expand into Raleigh and things like that. But it required that, and I had to be able to do that.
Okay. So I want to talk about some success now.
Let's do it.
I got the pleasure. Of course, you know, my phone died. So I had to get on Mr. Brown's phone. And I was like, give me your phone because cash is on. So I'm trying to do the thing. And then I had to charge my phone so I could get back on the thing so then I could record, right? I'm like, I need to get on the thing and then I'll get on the thing, right? So there was and I want to explain. So I'm doing this for a reason. You know, everything is logical. This is talking about the in-state, the travel, right? But you've been able to find, and I'm sitting here like, well, damn it, how did he know about all of these things? Is what I'm thinking most of the time. You've been able to find a lot of online contests.
Yes.
And I was privy to hear you pitch, and you gave it to the people. Okay. I listened to those other people and I was like, well, when is cash coming on? And I was just like, no, I was. But it was questions that people couldn't answer about their business. But you want this money. And the thing that I watched, what you ended up winning like 2,500. Okay. So can you talk to people about not just finding opportunities in state or in your city or in your town or even in your state, but globally when it comes to being able to bring in money for your business?
Yeah. So I follow a lot of networks and a lot of people who are just telling you where to go, you know, and it's out there. All you have to do is listen, to be honest. So this particular one that you're speaking of is called Sky's the Limit. Okay. And it is a platform, skysthelimit.org. And it is a platform. They do have a free tier and they also have a paid tier. Okay. Right. But one of the things that they do is on a monthly basis, they give away $2,500. It does require some work. You need to put a pitch up. You need to, you know, build out your platform. But this particular event, one of the things that's wonderful about it is it's a friends and families pitch, right? Or grant, I should say. And so one of the great things is that you get to have people boost your pitch. But even that, I'm gonna be honest, right? Just back to your point of the question that you made. So out of each month, there are 2 people that are picked from the boosted pitches. Okay. And they get the first and second slot. And then there is a person who was picked as the wild card. I was actually the wild card.
Really?
And it's because I'm so active on Sky's the Limit. They also have webinars and they also have things that you could chime into. I have a mentor who works for a prominent bank who also I met on this platform. And so because I'm very active, I got chosen as the 3rd person, the wild card. So it wasn't even like I was automatically in. They asked me if I wanted to pitch because of my activity.
And then you beat the 2
and
people.
Then I beat the 2 people who actually got their pitch boosted in the platform.
Okay, so that's even more. I didn't know all of that. How would I have known that stuff? But I think that there's one thing. So I'm gonna tell you why one of the girls lost. Okay, so this one girl, and this is just really advice. The one girl, she was making she was washing clothes. Right now, I mean, laundromats, you know, they make big money, but she was like getting people's clothes, washing them. And then there was a question that was asked, and the question was asked from one of our people right here in Raleigh, North Carolina, which is Mel Wright of the Wright Village. Mel asked the girl, so how much are you spending per load? Like the young lady couldn't answer like how much her detergent was and how much it was costing her to actually wash your clothes. And she could say, well, this is what I'm charging you. So just because you know that, you still need to know what your cost of goods sold is, right? Because you need electricity, you need that detergent or whatever it is that you're using, or fabric softener and everything. And you need to know how much you're, using. So even if it was a restaurant and you're giving away rice, you know what I'm saying? You need to know how much rice goes on this thing and what's that cup, as opposed to I'm just putting rice in here, right? So the young lady couldn't answer that. And it looked like nobody ever said that to her, or she never even thought about that. And so the reason I'm bringing that up is because the pitch that you put out was well thought out. You answered every question with confidence. And I think that it was like, well, this is exactly what I'm going to use the money for. So you said, basically, I'm going to use the money to do such and such, and we're going to talk about the book and stuff. And based on this is going to help this many people. And it was like together, right? So basically, from the other girl, okay, we just buying laundry detergent for you, ma'am, because you don't know how much your stuff costs, right? And it was one of those things where I think that business owners oftentimes y'all get so excited, all right, about doing business that you don't realize how much it's costing you. And we together tonight had a whole conversation about that. And I said, we evaluate. Now, I'm just going to tell you my rule. 90 days. This is the 90-day focus, your action plan for success, which is on sale on Amazon if you want to go ahead and get it. And so that's my book. I'm going to give something some time, right? But if it's not working and clicking in 90 days, all right, boo-boo, we tried. But now you look at the effort. Did you put forth the effort? Because sometimes, 90 days may go by and you didn't put forth the effort. But if you did put forth the effort and it's not doing what it needs to do, then that's where it's time for you to reevaluate, right? And I think a lot of times people want to keep doing something and maybe doing it the same way. And if that way is not working, then do something else, right? So that's just
to that point too. I think another big thing that people don't do is they don't check with other people. So it's really it's really important, like when you have a community, when you have people to bounce it off of, because we could think that our idea is amazing, but what the telltale sign is for one, if other people are not chiming in, if definitely other people are not paying for it. I don't care how great you think it is, it's garbage if nobody else is buying into it, and we also have to be willing to accept that from other people. So one of the things that I'm blessed with is I tap in with other people. I have mentors. I ask people like, hey, how does this look? Does this sound right? Is this okay? I've done pilots and gotten feedback and all of that type of stuff. And sometimes people just don't do that. They think, okay, this is a great idea. It's a great cause behind it. Should work. And a telltale sign is when it doesn't.
Okay. You just tapped into feedback. You tapped into it. So now, Chandria, we're going to have to talk about feedback, okay? I'm not going to say where we were last night, but we were at an event last night. Chandria was there. And at this particular event, I want you to just chime in from the audience, right? When you can tell that a person is not there to get feedback, they just want to be right. And it's not that they're not necessarily right. It's just that if they had taken the feedback, they could be even righter, right? Because, the person we talked about, the stuff was working for that person. But the person wasn't as receptive as they should have been to what we were trying to do in that room to give them specific advice. And if they had listened, I think that advice could have taken their business up, even in the next year, a couple of notches, right? And so can you say a word about that just really quickly? Because I know you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, girl, let's turn up. Yeah. Just say it. Just say the words.
So the truth of the matter is that the person was there more to promote themselves.
Oh, hold on. I'm looking at you, but they can't even see you. Let's go this way.
So the person was there more to promote themselves as opposed to getting the advice. And when I come to these events, I get so much value from them. So I'm coming to pretty much keep my mouth shut. I speak if I'm asked to speak, but I'm trying to take mental notes of, okay, what I'm hearing, what are they giving me? But yeah, when you kind of put self-promotion over knowledge, not always a good idea. Sometimes you just gotta hush, because obviously you came to the room for something,
Mhm.
you know, so you need to get what you're coming to get.
You better say that word. Come on, let me turn it back around. Listen here. So this is why now, as we transition
As
back,
we transition
that we
back,
call it the give it, get it business membership. That person was only trying to get, honey. They weren't. They were just trying to get what they could get from us. And you know, and the thing was, we were trying to give them something, and they weren't receptive of the things we were trying to give. And if they would have just listened, and I don't think that they understood, even though it's a small number. Now, listen, y'all are watching online. It is 5 of us in here. Okay. So don't even, you see, that's why I turned it around. It is 5 of us in here. Okay. So it is not a bunch of people in here. So y'all thought I was going to turn it around. It was going to be the whole room was full. It is 5 of us in here. Look, and Mr. Brown is sitting over here on the side. Wave bang. Okay. There you go. All right. So, you know, we are honest and transparent over here. No, we're not going to do that. If y'all, it's okay.
Yeah, don't.
I'm a, you know, I was gonna say it, but we're at self-help, and so we want to keep this as a clean PG show. But if you've ever seen that movie, you know what I'm talking about. But you know, I think that the biggest thing is that you have to give and get.
Right.
And feedback is an important factor, which is why we do our surveys. And I always like people to say, well, if you didn't like something, or if you would, I don't care, it could be the venue, it could be, now I've had people complain about stuff that I can't necessarily control, like the temperature.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And then sometimes people just want to complain just to complain.
And there are those people, but
Right.
what I have gleaned is that the people that typically come to our stuff, they don't do a whole bunch of that. Like they give genuine, honest feedback and something that we can really, really work with. And you being a recipient of that,
Mhm.
I think is good. So how do you then translate that into your training with the kids that you work with?
Well, one particular way is about with my book,
Mhm.
right? And so what I did is actually I did a proof of concept using AI, right?
Mhm.
Using Gemini Storybook. And before I expended all the money in order to do it, I did a proof of concept. I had a pilot and I asked for the feedback, you
Okay.
know, and I did it in person twice. And then in addition to that, I sent it to all of my friends who have kids in that
Mm.
age group.
Okay.
And so one particular thing that happened, originally the book was supposed to be for kids between the ages of 10 to 14.
Mhm.
Why it wound up changing was because of my feedback. And
Okay.
so after the kids looked at it on throughout that age range, it became more suited for those between the ages of 8 and 12.
Okay.
And so I basically did a Google form. And so after I encouraged the child and parent, and I
Mhm.
got separate feedback forms from the child and from the parent, so
Mhm.
that I could see exactly what each person thought.
Mm.
Based on that, I decided to change the age range,
Mhm.
right? So that I didn't have to change the entire book. And then I also was able to take some other, other information from
Mhm.
that as to what they wanted to see,
Mhm.
what excuse me, what would be more beneficial. Some of the other things that they wanted to actually see in the book and actually be, come to the end of it. And so what I was able to do from that was after the pilots, after all the feedback, I was actually able to flesh out the book, expand it, and take it to print.
Did you hear the word proof of concept? That phrase. It's no concepts, no proof. No proofs of concepts. I mean, and that's honestly, that's the thing too. And I think a lot of times people think that you can just throw stuff out there. So now I'm about to dig back over in cash. So this is where the petty business comes in.
Here we go.
So this is the thing. I was doing a proof of concept also. So with my mocktails, and I've been making mocktails for years, but I want my mocktails in the store. Okay. And eventually it will happen.
Mhm.
So last year at the Black Biz Summit, for the first time ever, I bottled 100. It took me hours of the mocktail, and everybody got one mocktail. Cash thought Cash was going to get two. Absolutely not. But so this is why I'm going back to the mocktail. But I think the biggest thing was everybody said yes.
Yeah.
Now, everybody loved it. I've had one person who didn't like it. And out of all the people, it was Mr. Brown's uncle, right? But no, it's funny.
It'd be your own
Because
people.
listen, it'd be your own people, right? But I'm going to tell you why. Mr. Brown's uncle, now you know how you got good country people. And they are simple and they like their very good country and they don't like a little twang to their thing.
Yeah,
He was like, what is this?
it was-
I've only had one person ever who was like, what is this, right? And I was like, well, I guess you better drink his drink because we are not wasting a drink. And he took that drink and he drank his drink, right? But I think that, that proof of concept. And so even in me saying, listen, we're going to PFPC now. So the Piedmont Food Processing Center, because, and this is why I'm getting with this. So I know business, but I know that there are so many more things involved in food and beverage that I don't know. And before I go to sell somebody something along those lines, right? I first of all want to be able to make sure that I know it's good. I'm not worried about that. And some people were trying to purchase it and you know, trying to,
I never seen nobody who don't want to take my money.
Look. Anyway, as I digress, right? So the biggest thing though is like, I want to be legitimate. I need to learn more stuff about that. So I'm not just going to jump out there and just do something and not have it be the way that it needs to be. That doesn't mean it needs to be a final finished product or anything, but it does mean if I know that I don't know all the things that I could know, at least with that major thing, then let me get to that point so that this way I can learn that and so that we can be certified and so that, you know, all of those things happen because then when you're talking about something like that, then it's liabilities that go along with it. But a and they're not willing to change. And so I think you've just given us some good lessons that to me, this is where it ties into financial literacy. You can make a whole lot of mistakes and waste a whole lot of money if you don't do that.
Absolutely. And I don't got time for none of that.
There you go.
So yeah, that was another thing about it is that a lot of times, especially when you're new in business, those are the things that you do. You go gung-ho down the wrong street, you know, and so sometimes it takes a while to kind of acclimate and adjust, and now you spend hundreds, thousands of dollars and nobody still has a board. You don't even have anything that's great now, you know, and so I've learned throughout the years, you know, not to do that and to do it simple. And I know that I may have a great idea and may have a great concept, but again, like I said before, it is not that great until somebody else validates it, especially the people who it's for.
Oh, okay, that's a word.
Yeah. So it was imperative that if I am creating a children's book, I needed children to see it. I needed to see what they wanted, needed, and what it looked like to them. And so as a result, that's how I was able to do it. But it wasn't like I couldn't come to say, "Hey, Chisa, look at this. What do this got to do with you?"
I mean, I could have looked at it.
You could have.
I mean, I would have looked at it still. But I mean, if it. So let me just give you this. That first interaction that we had, I was like, listen, I am not the person for you to come to talk about little kids. Okay. Our kid is 23 years old. I don't have little kids. Okay. Now I can tell you, I used to be president of PTA. And when I was, the PTA was giving life. Okay. The teachers were very happy because nobody ever fed the teachers like I fed the teachers. And those teachers, because I was like, listen, my baby is going through this school and he is not going to have any problems. So all you gotta do is feed people. And teachers are always hungry. And so I made sure all kinds of little gifts. Hey, Miss Such and Such, you talk to the principal, guidance counselor, all of those things, right? So if you're a parent, these are things that you could do so that your child will have a better life. And it really doesn't cost or take that much, right? Teachers appreciate all kinds of stuff. Bring them some markers, bring them some Kleenex, bring them a hand sanitizer, a little mug. Don't give them a gift card, honey. They will lose their entire mind if you give them a gift card, right? But I mean, those things to me were important, but I'm not in that area. So me telling you who to go to then, and plus, even when we were in Greensboro. I don't know the people in the schools out here in Durham or in Raleigh or in Fayetteville, anything. I don't know that. So my thing was, I am not the person for you to talk to do that. However, these are some people that you can talk to, right? And so I think that it's an important thing for us to know our strengths, and we can't do everything. And I don't claim to, but I should more than likely know somebody who could help you. And this is one thing that Cash is really excellent at. And I you got to give props where props are at, right? Cash gonna follow up, honey.
Man, listen.
And that's what y'all missing. Cash gonna follow up.
Listen.
Cash gonna follow up. Hello?
Listen.
Text message, Cash gonna follow up.
Yeah, because I think like a lot of people, we don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And we all have busy lives. And I think that sometimes even as entrepreneurs, we get in our own little bag and we get real selfish. And just because you are providing the service or we're supposed to connect, I am not the top thing on your brain. You have other things going on. I would like to think that I am, paramount, but that's not the case for any of us. We have personal lives, we got businesses we trying to run. And so, yeah, like at the end of it, also, I'm going to say it's a little selfish on my behalf. I need what I need. And I need for you to help me get what I need. And so I need to remind you that you're supposed to have something for me that I need. Like my mate, like we talked.
I knew it
about
was
that.
going there though.
Yeah. So
I knew it was going there. Did you see that's why I just posted
I'm
up? Because I knew it
I'm
was
just
going there.
saying, like, and so I need to remind you, gentle reminder too. I don't be, I don't be crazy with it. I'll be like, hey man, I'm thirsty.
And
like,
you know what I be like?
Real crazy.
BJ's.
They don't got
Natural.
your lemonade, yo. But
They do have lemonade though. They
I don't
actually
want
do
that.
have some
I
really
don't
good
want
lemonade.
that.
They got an
I
old
don't
really.
want
I'm gonna tell you what they have though. Okay, and
You
then
got
I
that
want.
one, that blackberry one?
They
That
don't have
special
that. That's
edition?
not
Exactly.
because I use fresh blackberries.
Oh,
Okay, they're not
well,
doing that. No, but I'm gonna tell you what they have.
Look up.
Blood orange lemonade. Now, doesn't that
I'm
sound
gonna
like?
try it,
I know you will. Go to BJ's.
but I still want your
Blood
blackberry
orange lemonade.
though.
It's delicious. It's marvelous. It really is very
Why you
tasty.
trying to give
Because
other
I'm trying to give you an
people the money?
alternative until those
I
things
want to give the
happen.
money to you though.
You know what?
I'll take the money.
I was about to
Support.
say, you got some lemonade?
Support.
Oh,
I appreciate you trying to give me
I'm
some
just
money.
saying, like, when you ready, I got it.
I'm gonna go
when
through
you
the
ready.
class. We're gonna take our class, start producing, because when we go to the center, we can produce so much more, so much
Oh,
faster.
See, yeah, I'm
Okay.
there. I'm there.
And then we can have our own little pop up,
Mhm.
and you have your own little section.
Hey, I get a
That'll
little.
already be
I want
pre-reserved.
my own tasting cup. That's
But
like
let me just
cash
say
money.
something. Don't play me in front of these people, okay?
What?
Because you're trying to play me in front of these people.
What happened
What happened at the networking event in January
in January?
at Candy House? You came to the networking event. What did
Oh,
I
it
have for
was
you?
great. You had a special. That's the raspberry lemonade.
What did I have for you though? Did I not
Special.
have it? And I
You
told other
did.
people they couldn't
Everybody
have
couldn't
it.
have it because I'm special. That's why.
I
Yeah.
mean, what more do you want?
I mean, I'll just want some more. But I was appreciative. I'm just saying. But that was January.
Greedy people.
We in April. We in April. I've been thirsty for a few months now. But okay. But thank you. I'm gonna wait patiently. I've learned patience a little bit.
If we could take a picture, somebody online, take a picture of my face right now. And I want you to send it to me. Okay, Risha, I see you on there. Risha, take a picture, send it to me. Okay, so listen,
All right.
we are going to wrap up. We are
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
wrap up. But what I want you to do
What
is
you
I
want me
want
to
you to
do?
tell them where they can find the book.
Awesome. So please go to the website. It is www.financial-boss.org /boss squad book. And so there you'll be able to see a lot of great things. You'll be able to see exactly what the book is about. You'll be able to purchase it. It is available both domestically and internationally. You'll also be able to see some of the people who have already ordered the book and they became official Boss Squad members. You'll get a sneak peek of the book on there, and you also will have endorsement by our very own Durham County Commissioner Burton, who has purchased the book and says she loves it, and all that type of stuff. So please, definitely go get it. Again, it's specifically more so written for children between the ages of 8 and 12. But I do have some younger readers who are able to conceptualize and understand the concepts. I do also have some older readers who may not be very versed in financial literacy, and so it helps them too. I even got some adults that have proved it, have seen that it's very useful.
Okay, well, I love that. All right, well, put your hands together for Cash. Woo!
Oh, and this is the logo. All right, y'all see this money stack? This is what's that.
You better be branded.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate
Look.
you.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to wrap up. So everybody online, I want to thank you guys for being on. I am going to do something that I don't do often, but because I love y'all, if you want to unmute, Patrice, do you want to say anything tonight? Did you enjoy it? You can unmute yourself if you want to, Patrice. And if you're not in a place to unmute, then I'm going to count to like 3. And then you let me know that'll let me know you're not going to be able to unmute. But 1, 2, 3. Okay, Patrice, you didn't unmute, so we're going to let you. Oh, hold up. You might not have been able to from that. Try that now. Okay, Patrice, if you want to unmute, you should be able to unmute. 1. Oh, it's in the chat. Hold up. Let me see. Oh, look, it says your mocktails are great, honestly. Thank you. Okay, see, we getting some love right there. So I'm not sure if that let me. Risha, can you see if you can unmute? If you want to say anything. Want to give y'all some love for watching this evening live. And I think there's more people live, but they're on YouTube, so they didn't tune in this way. So if they, they won't be able to do it. So Risha, do you want to say anything? We're going to give you a 1, 2, and a 3. Okay. All right. So we're just going to let you guys go then. So this way you don't have to worry about that. But I hope you have enjoyed this. I think what we're going to do, so I'm going to tell everybody live, is we're going to transition this in a different way. Personally, I really love today. Like, I like this little sitting together thing and doing it this way. I think that it was intimate. And I think you still got to learn a lot of information. And I think, we always pick amazing guests. So that's not even a question. But I think we're going to make some transitions. And we may not be doing as many in person. And she says she has loud kids in here, but this was awesome. Okay, well, good. Yes, tell the kids keep on doing what they're doing. We don't want to interrupt their night and go to school tomorrow and be nice to their teachers. But I think that one of the biggest things that we wanted to accomplish with this was to be able to let you know about other businesses and support organizations that are in the community, are really doing the work. And we also wanted you to be able to know that there are real people that you can go to if you need these particular services. So for me, I think that that's an important thing. And I love it when people come back, because that means that it's something here that you like. And so we appreciate that. And for everybody, we're going to change up some format, because what we probably are going to do, if I change the format, is I'm probably going to record and then we will just stream them on a particular dates. That's probably what's going to happen. As opposed to, we might do them live, but it's easier for me to just batch content and record a whole bunch in one day and then just let you guys see them, which is kind of what we used to do when we first started this, maybe 6 years ago for this. Well, no, a little bit more than 6 years, because we had the studio before COVID. So 7 years ago when we started this. And I just want you guys to know that we really appreciate you watching, listening. And if you're watching on the replay, we still love you too. We appreciate it. You can always leave comments and things, and make sure that at the end of the day that you show up and you show out and you continue to give it to the people. Bye, guys. Bye. All right.